Hello and welcome. This video I will be reviewing Waybound by Will Wight. This is the 12th and final book in the Cradle series, and just like with all of the other books in this series, I was able to enjoy this book via Audible with a performance by Travis Baldry. And at this point, I have listened to this book about once a month, every month since it came out, and I have enjoyed it every single time. And the reason why this review took so long to come out is because I would listen to it and the end of the book would come and I would be either on travel or I was busy working on a project or something in my life would happen and I would just like not get to it after the book had recently ended. And now before the year's end, I was like, I just need to make this happen. So as someone who has listened to this book almost half a dozen times now, I can honestly say I have loved every single time I have listened to it. Every single time my heart has just swollen listening to this final chapter in everybody's story. And you might be like, that seems a little bit hyperbolic. No. At this point, we've spent 11 books prior with these characters. We have watched some of them grow, you know, speaking of Lyndon, from literally nothing. Literally a little boy who had to like fight off bullies and break his arm in order to climb a tree to get a hope of becoming something, to the man that he ends up becoming in this book. We've seen him fall, we've seen him succeed, we've seen him make more friends, and this group that has been created in this final book, entering into this final book with Yaren and Lyndon and Zeal and Mercy and Orthos and Little Blue and Dross, like, and then with the progression of Eithan's story as well, I just couldn't be more pleased with how Will Wight has decided to end this amazing series. And I am so happy he made some of the decisions that he made. I had my predictions for this book. Only one of them proved correct. So he was still able to surprise me. If you are new to Will Wight's work, he is a little heavy-handed with his foreshadowing. He was exceptionally heavy-handed with his foreshadowing in this book. Like it was like a wink and a nod anytime he was foreshadowing in this book, like, this is totally gonna come up later. But it was forgivable because at this point I'm so attached to the characters. Like I was just like, this is gonna be lovely. And there were definitely some gut-wrenching parts in this book where I was like, but overall, I couldn't have asked for a better ending. Like, it's not like a lot of anime where you go through like several dozen episodes and a couple of seasons just to have the worst ending that has ever existed. It's not like Evangelion or Soul Eater. It's an ending that Will Wight can be proud of. I will say that as someone who has at this point listened and experienced every single Will Wight book, even though I've only so far reviewed the Cradle series on this channel, I have listened to every single one of his books, including his science fiction, which those reviews will come out later. I will say this is my favorite series of his. I think it's the best well done. I feel like the characters are the most relatable, are the most enjoyable. The story and the world is rich and I love it. And I mention that because while this focused on Cradle itself, that's the whole reason why it's called the Cradle series, is because it's that one iteration and it's based in that one iteration. And this is the conclusion of the Cradle series, meaning that it's no longer going to be set on or located on Cradle. Will Wight does have more than this Cradle series in this universe. So if you do not know that and you would like another set of interesting books by Will Wight that is still technically set in this universe, Will Wight also has another series, a bifurcated series that, while this is a little bit of a spoiler for the series, is in this universe. so I'm not going to actually technically mention it, but I feel like you can look it up if you know, Google exists. But that also takes place in this universe, and I'm truly hoping that he gives us more from this universe or in this universe. I would really love to see a series of these characters beyond Cradle. I also would really love just like a backstory on Eithan in general. I know it would be very depressing and sad based on the backstory that we've been given in the Cradle series for Eithan. But I would like that. I feel like that could be enjoyable and a little bit more serious than some of the books that he has written. Most of the books that I've experienced, while they do deal with a lot of death and dying and loss and stuff, and they do deal with complex relations and emotions within families and within friendships and within power struggles in general, I feel like it would be a good opportunity for him to like write a more, you know, serious and maybe morose book, like doing Eithan's backstory, which, considering Eithan as we know him now, seems counterintuitive, because Eithan honestly is my favorite character from the Cradle series. I enjoyed him the most. I second only to Dross, but I would like that. I would like a backstory or a little short about it. I think that would be pretty great. But I will say, Will Wight, if you ever watch this video, which I'm sure you don't, thank you for this series. I have very much enjoyed walking the way, all the way. And I feel like you all know at this point that I do highly recommend this book. I definitely feel like I would definitely recommend the saga of 12 books in this Cradle series. There have been 1 or 2 misses out of the 12, but it is worth it. This 12th book makes the whole thing worth it, in my opinion, and I do highly recommend it. And I am so glad to have walked this way, and I hope you guys will also be waybound as well. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, bye!